Hello and welcome back to Warner-Tate Photography. It's been a while, it's been a long while actually. It's probably around 6 months since we were last out making a vlog. We've been getting out a little bit, taking the dogs for a walk and taking some iPhone snaps, but not really sort of out properly with the camera, taking some nice shots. Couple of reasons really is that in September last year our circumstances changed a little bit and we had other priorities that needed our attention. So obviously that was the focus rather than coming out with the camera. And then in December last year, really sadly, my mum passed away. So it's been a rough couple of months, but we're March now, and I believe today is the first day of spring, and it sort of feels a bit like new beginnings, new focus for this year, sort of with different things happening. We've got 3 trips to the Isle of Skye booked, which we're really excited about. The first one being in around 6 weeks and 6 days to be precise. So we're actually really lucky and fortunate enough to be spending a full week in Elgol, which is just going to be fantastic. So apologies that we've not sort of kept in touch and sort of been out making our videos, but today is the start of hopefully things to come this year. We're actually about 10 minutes away from home. We've never been here before, which is crazy really to say that it's 10 minutes from home, but just behind us or just in front of me there's a really beautiful little waterfall that I'm struggling to get a good position to set up my camera with, because it's quite deep. But I'll stop waffling and I'll try to show you what I'm doing. At the minute I've left my camera perched on a rock in the middle of the river, but I'll take you down and show you what I'm doing. So this is the area that we're photographing today. I'm perched on a little rock and the rock's really wet and slippy. So I've had to put 2 of my tripod legs into the river just so that I can actually get onto the rock and try and get to my camera. But at the back you've got this huge waterfall cascading over, and then you've got so many other little waterfalls that are just coming over the rocks, and there's quite a bit of water in it as well, which is nice because you can really get a sense of the flow, the feel, the movement in that water, which is lovely. And I've got to say, it is so nice to just be out doing this. Really is lovely. What I'm wanting to do, I don't know if you can see or not, but it goes a little bit shallower towards the side, and I am wanting to try and get across there. There's a nice little rock and the water's just coming over that quite heavily, and what I'm wanting to do is get low down to that to make that the foreground, with hopefully then the waterfall cascading over the rocks to the right of the image. But I'm in 2 minds. I don't want to go in and get wet really, but I'll see. At the minute the shot that I've focused on has got this nice tree branch that's broken off and just rested on that rock, and the force of that water coming down is just lovely. I've got this big rock here in the foreground, then the branch, and then leading up to the cascading waterfalls, which is really nice. I'll bring the camera down and just show you on the screen in a second. And I've focused on the rock and then focused on the background as well, just to try and get everything a bit sharp. I've got a 3-stop filter on, so that's giving me a second on the shutter, f11. So pretty simple really, but yeah, lovely. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but you can see the rock here with the branch, the waterfall sort of cascading down, and then leading up to that main waterfall in the background. I don't know, I think I'm so I've come out of the water. I did attempt to try and get round on that side, but the shallow bit of the rocks wasn't probably enough for me to put both my feet on, set my tripod up and be able to get to my camera. So I've come out of the water and just set a shot up on the side. And what we've got actually is a little bit of this rock in the side with the leaves on, and it sort of is giving it a bit of an autumn feel, although it's first day of spring. But it's just nice because you've got the colours of the moss with the rocks, you've got the darkness of the rocks where they're wet, and I'm using a polarizer just to take a little bit of glare off. And then you've got the whites of the water. So I'm probably excited anyway because we're out and we're making a vlog and it's just lovely to be here. But I do quite like this composition that I've got, and I have still got the rock in the foreground at the bottom with the bit of the tree branch on it, because I think that sort of makes the image at the bottom part of the image a bit more interesting, because where that rock is, there's not a lot of movement in the water. So the original shot that I framed up, I'd included a bit too much of that water that wasn't really moving, and it sort of didn't give the image the right feel. So I've readjusted, and I've done quite a tight crop, to be fair, because the sky isn't doing very much other than being grey and miserable. So I've zoomed right in, I focused in tight to cut that sky out, which I think gives the image probably a bit of a better feel. So yeah, I'm going to play around and sort of see what shots I can get, and just enjoy it really. Like I say, it's just so lovely to be out. So I flipped the camera around and gone for a landscape shot instead of a portrait shot, but I don't think it's working as well. It sort of feels a bit unbalanced, to be honest. We've both been sort of looking, can we actually get into the middle of the water, but there's no steppy stones that you can get across to get into the middle, which is a shame, and as usual I haven't got my wellies. But on this shot, say I'm not over keen on it, to be fair, but I'll put it up and show you against the portrait shot that I did. But it's just got a couple of these tree branches at the bottom, sorry, at the top right hand side. Quite a bit of this rocky leafy bit. The thing that I do like is that movement, that current in the water, and leading you up sort of through into that waterfall. But I just, like I say, I feel it's a bit unbalanced. But I don't think there's much more really we can get from this spot shooting in this direction from where we are. And it may be that we come back, maybe when the summer colours are out a bit more, and it's a bit more vibrancy green, and maybe some flowers, I don't know, might give it a bit of something different. But I think we'll carry on down this path and see what else we end up at.
Hello, just thought I would say hello. Just bumped into a couple while we're out on our walk today. Who've told us that the river used to be really, really bad. 3 to 4 foot of bleach, foam caused by bleach coming from a factory up the road, further along the river. It's beautiful now, it's as clear as anything. Apparently the chaps just told us that there's dippers, trout and chub in the river now. Apparently the dippers are the only bird that dive for the food and sing at the same time, the only bird in the country, which was quite interesting, we thought. We've been out and about a little bit recently. We've been up to the Halo, done a sunset shot at the Halo, into the woods. We've been to a few woods recently, again, quite close to where we live, that we didn't really think of visiting before. It's just nice to be out. It's nice to be out and about. It's nice to be out today with the vlogging camera, Adele with the camera, getting her feet wet because again we forgot the wellies. We'll have to come up with a solution for that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.
So we've been walking maybe for 15-20 minutes, just thought we'd follow the river down and see if there was anything else, any other little waterfalls of anything interesting. We are quite high up against the river, so it's difficult to get down, but apparently you can walk all the way around and it brings you back to the beginning. So we might do that again another day. We'll maybe leave it a couple of months and sort of see what the trees do, and like I say, the flowers over summer might be quite nice. But yeah, I suppose we've not done very much recently, and apologies for that. And thank you very much for everybody that has taken the time to message and ask sort of if we're starting vlogging again. That's been really lovely. We did go to Scotland in September last year, but didn't make any vlogs. I have already shared some of the images, but I'll pop a couple of them up just so that you can see. We did have a little bit of a fun adventure one evening camping, and woke up with ice on the outside of the tent, which was an experience to say the least. But yeah, it's just been nice, and in just over a week we can get out and explore a little bit further afield, which is going to be lovely. Cannot wait to get back to the coast, and in 6 weeks, 6 days back to Scotland. So yeah, it's probably going to be a bit of a short one today, just to get back into the swing of things and get back used to the camera, but hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you again next week. So we'll say adios. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Adios.
Blooper 1, yay!
Okay, you can tell we're out of practice. Okay, so